Hello friend, this is Paper Kitty. Welcome back to my channel. Hope you crafty kitties are doing excellent. If you are new, welcome. And I would like to let you know that today we're going to be working on some of these beautiful dies that I have received from Kokorosa. They are a supplier of metal dies and other craft supplies. I will be linking all their information below. Today I'm going to be using a lot of these inks from just a variety of different makers. I believe I've got some Ranger and Tim Holtz, and so here you could see how I'm just kind of haphazardly applying some of that to a card base. I do like buying a bulk of card bases and then cutting them in half so that I can work on some of these, because the quality usually is a little thicker than regular paper, and it's a great size to go into my Sizzix. So basically I am just kind of eyeballing where I might think the colors might land on that metal die that is for the flowers. And so as you could see here, I'm kind of using it a bit as a guide here, and I know that on that one corner you've got the greenery, and so of course I am adding some green to that, and so that's kind of what I'm doing, because it's not an exact thing. I suppose you can try to make it more exact, but I personally just like to keep things a little bit easier and a little bit more of a flow with it. And even if I make a mistake or if something doesn't come out completely perfect, I really am working on trying not to stress about that anymore. So I do try to work with what I have. 9 out of 10 times I am able to either conceal a mistake or just work with it, and then other times I just have to accept it for what it is. And so I do want to encourage you, ladies and gentlemen, if you are making these, again, you can use any paper metal dies. In this case I am using the Kokorosa ones. I really do love their collection here, this little set, so I will be linking it below if you would like to grab you one. So what you're seeing here now is that I am putting a little water on the ink so that it will kind of blend a little bit. Now some of the inks blend and some do not, and some of them you have to catch them before they dry, so there's not a whole lot of blending going on, but certainly there is some. And so you do want to make sure they're dry before you start using the bone folder. In this case, I think I didn't put very much waters because otherwise you'll break them. So they were fairly dry already. And so yeah, I am using my bone folder. That is a huge part of making your flowers look pretty. I think a lot of times people, maybe that's kind of where they get stuck, and again, you just need to relax and play with it, and just do it, just like I'm doing right here. Just grab you a bone folder and start shaping up those flowers. Look how pretty that looks already. So then I realized that I always like to use one of the petals or one of the layers of petals going in the opposite direction, because I think that gives it some volume. It just makes the flowers look prettier, in my opinion. I don't know that it's really designed for that to be the case, but that's the way I use them. As you can tell, I don't always use things the way that they're supposed to be used. I do get a little creative on that as well. These don't actually come with instructions. I do like to look at some of the videos or pictures of the products a lot of times to see how other people use them. But at the end of the day, I am going to go along with what I want to do. Another tip is to ink around the edges of the flower. As you can see, I know I'm doing it on a pretty high speed here, but it's just, again, it has to be a relaxing thing. It has to be kind of like when you're just not in a hurry to make flowers, because if you're like trying to make them and you're like, oh, you got to do it for a specific project or something, that might be stressful, and it might be hard to have the patience at that point to ink them. It is a lot of work. So a lot of times I don't make a whole bunch of flowers at one time, because then it's I think that's when they start not looking right, because if I'm not happy when I'm crafting, I think you can kind of tell on my work. So I am a slow crafter because I do take my time. I just say it like that to people because it's kind of a quick and easy way to explain things. But basically, the reason I am a slow crafter is because I like to take my time. I like to make projects when I am enjoying them. And, part of all this, it's really a lesson in life to be crafting. Honestly, I've learned so much through crafting, patience, kindness to yourself and to others. And, that's super important, because a lot of times we can beat ourselves up, comparing ourselves to other people. And every person has different talents, different strengths, and, different, just they're just different. And just because maybe some person can do better on one thing than another, it doesn't make them better. And so we need to keep that in mind. And so those are some of the things that I've learned throughout this journey of crafting. Sometimes I could get frustrated with crafting, and then if I don't like what I'm doing, I may just kind of want to throw things away. But again, if you stick to it and keep working on it, I think you're going to end up liking it. Just like when you're seeing right here what it is that I did, you could see that, if you just stop the camera right now, those flowers are not going to be pretty. Okay, but I have a plan. So, and the plan is I'm going to ink each of these petals. And again, I'm not going to try to do a whole bunch of flowers in one day. I'm just going to do this one flower, so that I have enough patience to do it with joy. And so here I am again, going back there with the bone folder to shape them up again. Now I feel like I'm ready to go ahead and glue them together. So that is what I am doing. And again, like I said, I did use that paper from the cardstock, from making cards, because I think that's like 100-pound paper maybe. And I think that matters too when you're making flowers. If you use a thicker paper, that could be helpful. I think the way that flowers look and shape up is different with the thickness and the quality of the paper. So that's another tip. Also, when you're putting them down, when you're laying them down onto each other, like I am now, to putting the layers, pay attention to how you're layering them, because what you want to do is you don't want to stack them obviously exactly on top of each other. You want to kind of move them to the side a little bit, so that each layer is peeking through, but not totally, just a smidgen, because you still want to be able to see the layers. You need to have spaces in between that are empty. You don't want to completely fill every gap. So that's another tip about the layering that I think makes flowers look pretty. So here we go with the, now I'm trying to put this little deal here that's part of the die set, and I think it's really cool, because usually I have to make something up. And even though I am putting the thing that comes, the little circle there that comes in the middle, and I think it looks precious just like that, I do end up putting a pearl in the middle because I love that better. But it is pretty already with the way the die set comes, with that little circle there. And again, the inks really make this, I think, have a very natural, organic look, because you've got like a little ombre thing going on some of the, parts of this flower, because of using the inks the way that I did. And so that makes these very unique, and I think really pretty. So I'm just layering now the little petals. And again, if you need to cut them and rearrange them the way you like it, that's what I did here. I think I had to cut a little petal and adjust it a little differently. So this is what that looks like. And then I'm going to be showing you what it looks like to make this or use this die here, which is going to end up being a layering piece on a card. And look how pretty that looks, just that alone. So as you can tell here, now I'm just again grabbing a piece of card and putting some ink on it. That's a Tim Holtz Distress Oxide, and I've decided I'm going to use that for making the bow die. And so I'm trying to keep those colors, you know, I've been really into the yellow and pink. In this case, I've added a little bit of green as well, just because, you know, the leaves, I wanted the leaves to be green. So now I'm using a stencil that has like little circles on there to kind of add some polka dots. And again, this is a way that you can make your own designs that are just very unique. And you know, I mean, you could use scrapbook paper, and I love using that. And I think that very clean finished look is also very, very cool. I love that. But sometimes I like being creative, and this is a good way to do that. So here I am taking these off of the metal die, and now I'm going to ink the edges with a little bit of that green, because again, I wanted to coordinate with the other project with the flowers that I made. And so that's what I'm doing here, and these are all the pieces to it. So again, with my bone folder, I am putting these pieces together here. I got to put a little, because of the inking, sometimes it's a little harder for it to dry because the ink is actually wet. So, I mean, unless, I guess I could have dried it with a heat tool before gluing it. That would have probably been better. But I just went ahead and used those little clamps that I got at the Dollar Tree. And, but see how I have to kind of go back and do it a couple times because it's not sticking because of that ink. It's still a little wet. And so it is giving me a little trouble. But again, you know, this is where I practice patience, but I think it looks really cute. Again, it has a very organic look. And I think initially I start putting this like a little heart that it comes with. The set comes with this little heart, and actually that's from the flower set. Remember how I told you that I don't always use things exactly the way they're supposed to be? Well, that little heart came not with the bow set, but with the flower set. But, you know, I thought it looked really cute like that. Eventually, though, I decided that maybe I wanted to put a different thing in the center, and so I ended up putting this beautiful hot pink little gemmy. But then I change it yet again. But look how pretty that looks. I think that looks really, really pretty. I love the dimension that you get from using the inks, and, you know, from the shading basically that you get from doing the inking around the edges of the paper. So yeah, I'm still having a little trouble with that bow. It keeps wanting to get unglued, mainly because, again, I didn't wait or dry the paper before trying to glue it together. So anyway, using the clamp there and leaving it alone. And so now I'm going to be working with this. So here we have the finished products, and what I have here is a beautiful card that I have made, and I've used the Kokorosa dies. Now on this one, I have used the large jagged circle die as a layering piece underneath this sentiment. And I did actually emboss it, and I'm going to put it up a little closer so you can see how that looks. And then I have created this flower and this bow, which I had just shown you, but what I did different is I went ahead and changed them and put pearls. This is a little bit larger pearl than that one. And then I went around with the gold paint. It's kind of like a little gold shimmer. So that, I think that looks really pretty. And when you open it up, it's just a white card and white in the back. So what I did is, whenever I got a card like this, you know, they come already pre-made. You just have to fold them. They usually have a place where you fold them. And then I actually rip them. I rip them in half, okay? And then I do, you know, whatever it is I want to do on my project. And when I'm finished, then I get a new card and I glue it on top. And so that's a good way, because if you don't love what you did and you know, you're not going to be able to use it for the card, you can just not attach it to the base. So and then what that gives you is a little more stability, and especially if you're doing anything that is a little wet, mixed media-ish, you know, using the inks, the wet glues and things like that. Any of this shimmer that it gets a little wet, it's going to warp the card a bit. But if you wait for it to dry really well, or use your drying tool and then attach it to the base of another card, it will flatten out. And so no need to be afraid to play around with your tools and your supplies and just have fun with it. I know this looks really intricate, and it is, but the trick for me, I think, was the layering, not just of the paper, but of the things to do with it. So I did embossing. I did a little embossing on the borders here. I don't love the way this kind of embossed over the letters here a little bit, and so I don't love that, but that's okay. I still like it very much. It's a handmade card, but yes, definitely using the inking tools, I think, gave it a very organic kind of mixed media look, and I really like that. So I hope you guys like it. And so there's that one. Then what I've done with the smaller frames, these little stack I used again was, of course, for the flowers, was this flower die, and with the leaves and everything. I haven't removed the pieces apart because I like to cut them all together. It's just, I think it's easier to work like that. Even if you get extras, that's okay. And then the bow die is this one here, which I've already taken out of the bag a little earlier in the video, or the previous video with the unboxing. You can see that. But yeah, this is what the die actually looks like, that went on the card back here. And so what you got here is this you know, what it looks like. Now I embossed over that, so it's a plain, I used a plain card and cut it using this, and then embossed it, and then I inked it on the top and the bottom a little different, and that's how you get the base here, or this layering piece rather. Okay, I also layered did the base, but like I said, I didn't do the very base of the card. I did not do anything except attach this. I did actually attach another white one in the back too, so that they're both evenly thick, and that way it gives support and deals with the warping, so you don't have the warping. So that's what I did with that one. And then this one, this is what it looks like when you cut it out. And I actually wanted those for these little keys that I altered, and I just thought it would be really cute, you know, for presentation, that it would look so pretty to have them in something like this little card. And so what I did is just made a couple of punch holes in the back and put some of this lace through it to attach the key. And then of course this is one of those flowers again, and I just also inked it, and that's why it's got that very organic look, but it's a different, you know, color scheme there. But anyway, that's what I did with that one. And then this one also, this is a little bit different design, and kind of the same concept. I guess the only thing different is that I used an ATC card in the back, so you can see that this is a smidgen larger than an ATC. I wish it would have been exactly the size of an ATC, because that would just have been super cool, but it's okay. I like that I was able to layer the ATC card and use the ATC card as, you know, for thickness. And again, I punched the holes and put that ribbon through, and or that lace, and I think that's a really cute presentation for this altered key. And yeah, I've made several altered keys, and I'm probably going to be showing that in the next video, so stay tuned for that. And then finally, I used this small die to make this little label that could be for, like, say, a journal. So I thought that was really, really cute. And I put a little sticker here and here. And so now in this case, I did use the layering piece for the little pink paper, and actually I didn't really have pink paper handy, so I just I had my dyes out, so I just dyed that. That's ink, distressing ink. And so yeah, I layered this one on top of that one. So yeah, all these actually have layering pieces that go along with them, so I really, really love that, because I could definitely see me being able to use this in so many projects. But off the top of my head, that is kind of what I was thinking that I wanted to use these stackables for these little product cards, for my embellished keys, and for this little kind of label that you can put on a journal, for instance. You know, I think that's cute. And then also I liked it for card making, because it's a beautiful layer, you know, for the card making, I think. So anyway, guys, if you like this video, be sure and give me a thumbs up, and press the subscribe button if you would like to be a subscriber. Also, don't forget to check out Kokorosa in the links below. I will put their shop link and also the product links. And so yeah, be sure and check them out. There is also a coupon code there for you if you would like to purchase these dies. Again, thank you, Kokorosa, for providing these for me, and so that I can do the demonstrations here. And again, guys, love you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye now.